This is The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line on 938 Live.
Now, industry experts say the maritime industry is turning the corner, but the oversupply of ships remains a concern. Gwendolyn Goh has the details.
Chief Executive Officer of Transworld Group Singapore, Mahesh Sivaswamy, welcomes the government's plans to consolidate container port operations at Tuas. This is because container operations at Keppel is nearing full capacity.
They're talking about some 65 million TEUs to be handled out of that port. And I think Singapore's perfectly getting ready for the growth plans in the container shipping industry. And I'm glad that this kind of a proactive approach from the government and MPAs and PSAs and all thinking ahead would in fact be a great cause in terms of the growth even within the region, and Singapore would continue to have a leadership role.
But Mr. Sivaswamy says capacity alone is not a measure of the industry's health. He points to the oversupply of ships.
I mean, we've got huge amount of capacity coming out from the shipyards. This year, 2014 is slated to bring out of the shipyards the maximum number of ships. So the capacity is going to grow very, very substantially. But unfortunately, I'm not so sure whether the demand will keep to the kind of capacity that is coming out. This is in itself the biggest worry and the biggest problem, because I'm talking about the global scenario, because it's a very international business, and capacity definitely is a dampener for the industry.
And the next 2 years will be challenging.
I really don't see growth in terms of trade, the volumes, growing, whereas we have big capacities coming out. So in my view, I think for things to settle even from today, I estimate it should be about 2016 by the time we see a better shipping industry.
Thomas Kriwat, CEO of Merck Marine, echoes Mr. Sivaswamy's view.
This year, from a ship owning perspective, and the next years also are going to be very difficult. Our fleet consists of multi-purpose vessels as well as container feeder vessels. Both of these markets are not at a level where we would like them to be in terms of charter rates. We are still facing the challenge of oversupply that goes spreads across all markets.
But CEO of Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, Andrew Tan, remains upbeat.
Well, the last 2 years have been quite challenging for the industry as a whole. But notwithstanding, I think we are seeing some signs of recovery. Of course, there are still many uncertainties, there's still excess capacity. But nonetheless, I think everyone is poised for the uptake itself. But overall, there is a lot of interest now in the maritime sector, and many countries are looking at how they can develop a maritime strategy in the same way in which we are doing to encourage the growth of this sector in all its aspects.